You'll see, yeah, there you go, flames. What? There you go. Hey guys, Megan here at Elzner Farms. Today we're going to talk about lighting our smoker. We get a lot of questions each year about how to light a smoker and how to keep it lit and what materials to use, so I thought I'd show you what we like to use. Just to get started, I have a couple of smokers here. This one's shiny brand new, so you can see we just took it out of the box, and this is what it will look like after you've used it a couple of times. The supplies that we have, I have a hive tool, a paper towel, lighters, burlap, and pine. I have two types of lighters here, just a regular lighter, and then I also have a torch lighter, which is the one I think is the easiest to use because if it's a little windy or a little damp outside, it will easily light. You don't have to worry so much about the flame like you do with this one. So the two materials that I like to use in my smoker are either burlap coffee sacks or pine needles. We live in the piney woods, so there's plenty of that to go around. I typically, with my burlap, like to cut it, you know, just about the height of my smoker so that I can use it on a ton of hives. It will last a pretty long time. To get started, you're going to want to take your hive tool. If your smoker is older or been used recently, you'll want to just pop it off with the hive tool. If it's gotten a little sticky, they can get a lot of resin inside them, and sometimes it can be a little difficult to take the lid off, so that's just an easy way to do it. We'll start off by doing the pine needles today. A lot of times what I'll like to do is take my napkin. This is just kind of an easy way to get things lit. So I'll take a napkin and just toss it in the bottom so that you kind of have a starter flame and you're not having to spend time lighting a few pine needles. So if you want to just get that going and throw it in the bottom. And then I usually will put a few pine needles in. You can use your hive tool to shove the pine needles down so that they can get lit. And it's been rainy here, so the pine needles are a little damp, so hopefully they will light up today for us. And you're just going to want to pump the bellow a lot. What you're really going for is some flames in the bottom. You want to build a good base in the pine needles. And then as I now have flames coming up, as the flames are coming up, you're going to want to start adding more pine needles. And you can see it's producing a really beautiful billowy smoke. It's very cool smoke, and that's what you want in your hive. You want to be shooting your bees with a heavy hot smoke. You really want it to just be a nice light cool smoke. And then this is where your hive tool comes in really handy. You can push the needles down and you can add more materials depending on how many hives you're going to check. You can either put a lot in or a little. It will last for quite a while. You don't have to pack it in there really tight, and you don't have to cram it full, particularly if you're only checking a couple of hives. Your most important part will be just pumping your bellow and really getting it going. So this one's doing great. I'll put a little bit more in there so that it can keep smoking while we light the burlap. But you'll be able to see that was pretty quick and easy, and it will last for quite a while. If you have to set your smoker down while you're checking your hive, you'll just want to give it a few pumps if it's been sitting for a little while, and it will light right up. So let's set that to the side. So next we'll talk about lighting with burlap. I usually buy my burlap sacks at the feed store in town, or if you have a local coffee shop, a lot of times they'll have bags of this and you can get them from there. I cut it about the height of my smoker. So I'll put, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'll just use either scissors or a razor blade and cut it into strips. And let me move this. This is going right in my face. Then I'll roll it up. The key to rolling is you don't want to roll it really tightly. You want to have a good loose roll so that the flame can actually catch on it after you roll it up. So I'll loosely roll it and it will fit, you know, very easily down into there. You don't want to make it real tight, and you don't want to make it too loose to where you're cramming it in. And then what you can do is usually I look for the end that has all the little stringies hanging out, and this is where your torch lighter comes in very handy, because you can just light the strings and let it get a good flame going on there. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put it right over the top of my smoker, give a few pumps to it so it can start going. Don't burn your hand when you do it. And once you've really got the flames coming, then you can start letting it drop in. And this is the same as the pine. The key is going to be continuing to pump it and not letting it smother whenever you put it down into the smoker. This one looks like it started to go out a little bit. If it starts to go out, you can bring it back up again. See, it's still lit in there, but it's not doing the flame that it should. So you can either blow on it to get a flame going again, or you can relight with your torch lighter and get it really going. There we go. Now it's lit better. I just put it in too soon, and that's when it will make the flame go out. So patience is key with your smoker. And I know we're all excited to get out and get into our hives, but this is something you want to make sure is lit really well whenever you first get started. You don't want to be fiddling with it in the middle of your hive check. So now I can hear the flames coming out when I pump the bellow, and it's producing a really great smoke. So typically once I get to this point, you can let it go and put your lid on, and then you have a really great smoke coming out as well. And so the same goes for the burlap as the pine. You just want to make sure you're pumping a cool, nice, billowy smoke into your hive just to let them know that you're there to check on them. Now, one more thing that I will talk about, this one is really, really billowy today since the pine needles are a little wet since it rained yesterday. When it comes time to plug up your smoker and you're finished using it for the day, I like to take just a cork from a wine bottle, and I'll usually just shave down the end to fit into the top of the smoker, and it's a good way to put your smoker out and have a smother on it so that you don't have to worry about it once you are finished beekeeping for the day. If y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Have a good one.